Jasupal Pranjakarya Strotra Satashi Abhay Janarvin Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Anand Koti Vaishnav Bhaktivinoda ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam Sundar ki Jai Shri Lal Singh Bhagwan ki Jai Shri Gauritai ki Jai Jai Anand Koti Vaishnav Bhaktivinoda ki Jai. All glories to seven devotees Krishna. All glories to seven devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to seven devotees Hare Krishna. Nanda Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtapraya Sabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, entitled Samabonam, Chapter 74, entitled The Deliverance of Shishupal. We will be reading texts 44 to 46. Okay? So I will read 44 and 45 with the translations, and then we will read 46 here. Shabda kola halor thase. Sorry, I'll read this myself. Shabda kola halor thase. Chishu pale hate mahan. Tasyanu yaino bhupa. Dudru pura jitate jivite sinaha. Translation. When Shishupal was thus killed, a great roar and howl went up from the crowd. Taking advantage of that disturbance, the few kings who were supporters of Shishupal quickly left the assembly out of fear for their lives. Purport. The above translation is taken from Srila Prabhupada's Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, text number 45. Chaitya Devo Titham Jyotir Vasudevam Upavishat Pasyatam Sarvabhutanam Ulke Vabhuvik Khachchayuta. Translation. An effulgent light rose from Shishupal's body, and as everyone watched, entered Lord Krishna, just like a meteor falling from the sky to the earth. Purport. In this connection, the Acharyas remind us that Shishupal is actually one of Lord's eternal associates playing the part of a belligerent demon. Thus, to most observers, it appeared that Shishupal achieved the impersonal liberation of merging into Lord Krishna's bodily effulgence. In fact, after being liberated from this mortal frame, Shishupala returned to the side of his master, the Supreme Lord of the spiritual world. The following verse further explains this. Because this verse is related, so we will read the 46th verse together. Janmatraya nuguna nita, sorry. Janmatraya nugunita. Vaira samrabdhaya divya. Dhyayam stan mayatam yato. Bhavo hi bhavakaranam. Janmatrayanu gunita. Vaira samrabdhaya dhiya Dhyayam stan mayatam yato Bhavo hi bhavakaranam Janmatrayanugunita Vaira samrabdhaya dhiya Dhyayam stan mayatam yato Bhavo hi bhavakaranam Janmatrayanugunita Vaira samradhaya dhiya Dhyayam stan mayatam yato Bhavo hi bhavakaranam Janmatrayanugunita Vaira samradhaya dhiya Dhyayam stan mayatam yato Bhavo hi bhavakaranam
Janmatrayanugunita Vaira samradhaya dhiya Dhyayam stan mayatam yato Bhavo hi bhavakaranam
Janmatrayanugunita Vaira samradhaya dhiya Dhyayam stan mayatam yato Bhavo hi bhavakaranam Mataji Janmatrayanugunita Vaira samradhaya dhiya Dhyayam stan mayatam yato Bhavo hi bhavakaranam Janmatrayanugunita Vaira samradhaya dhiya Dhyayam stan mayatam yato Bhavo hi bhavakaranam Janmatrayanugunita Vaira samradhaya dhiya Dhyayam stan mayatam yato Bhavo hi bhavakaranam Word to word translation, please repeat after me. Janma, births. Traya, three. Anugunita, extending through. Vaira, by enmity. Samrabdhaya, obsessed. Dhiya, with a mentality. Dhyayan, meditating. Tanmayatam, oneness with him. Yata, attained. Bhava, one's attitude. He, indeed. Bhava, of rebirth. The bhava of rebirth. Karana, the cause. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, by the followers of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation: obsessed with hatred of Lord Krishna throughout 3 lifetimes, Shishupala attained the Lord's transcendental nature. Indeed, one's consciousness determines one's future birth. Please repeat after me. Obsessed with hatred of Lord Krishna throughout 3 lifetimes, Shishupal attained the Lord's transcendental nature. Indeed, one's consciousness determines one's future birth. Purport. Shishupal and his friend Dantavakra, who will be killed by Krishna in chapter 78, were previously Jaya and Vijay, 2 gatekeepers in Vaikuntha. Because of an offense, the 4 Kumaras cursed them to take 3 births in the material world as demons. The first birth was as Hirnaksha and Hiranyakashipu, the second is Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and the third is Shishupal and Dantavakra. In each birth, they were completely absorbed in enmity towards the Lord and were slain by him. Srila Prabhupada explains the position of Shishupal as follows. Although Shishupal acted as the enemy of Krishna, he was not for a single moment out of Krishna consciousness. He was always absorbed in thought of Krishna, and thus he got first the salvation of Sayujya Mukti, merging into the existence of the Supreme, and finally became reinstated in his original position of personal service. The Bhagavad Gita corroborates the fact that one who is absorbed in the thought of Supreme Lord at the time of death immediately enters the kingdom of God after quitting his material body. The 3rd and 7th cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam elaborately describe the incident wherein the Lord's personal associates were cursed to come to the material world as his enemy. In this connection, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti quotes the following verse. Bhagavatam 7:147. Tairanu bandha trivena dhyanena chita satmatam matam nitau punar hare parshvam jagmatur Vishnu parshadau. These 2 associates of Lord Vishnu, Jaya and Vijay, maintained a feeling of enmity for a very long time. Because of always thinking of Krishna in this way, they regained the shelter of the Lord, having returned home back to Godhead. Om Ajnana-Timirandasya Jnana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilatam Nena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadavaitam Savadutam Parijana Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lita Shri Vishnatam Vitam Shri Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenamantu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namustute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishmana Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Tantruvascha Kripa Sindhu Virvacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Vicharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshtarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakvrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. Very interesting topic. We are discussing how Shishupal was delivered from this material world by Lord Krishna himself. A bit of background. There is this yajna being performed by the Pandavas, Rajasuya yajna, and that sort of determines or makes Yudhishthira Maharaj known all around the world, and he is arranging that to glorify Lord Krishna. He is arranging that this whole Rajasuya is meant to glorify Lord Krishna, and that was the whole purpose of arranging it. Because Pandavas are the pure devotees of Lord Krishna, and they are very close to Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna is close to them as well. So to glorify the Lord, they have arranged this Rajasuya Yajna and invited all the known personalities, and who are all present in the, who were all present or who are all present in the assembly are every king of the nation, every king is there, and all the devatas, including Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, they are all present in the assembly. Pardon me. And when the time comes to glorify Lord Krishna, then what happens is that, or rather, when the time comes to find who is the best person to be glorified in such an assembly, then it is being asked, but everyone keeps quiet, including Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, and it is said that unless you are asked to give your opinion when you are a guest, you should not just jump in to give your opinion. You should respect the host, or what is the host's decision. So when no one spoke, then Sahadeva spoke, glorifying Lord Krishna. He glorified Lord Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He glorified Lord Krishna to be the cause of all causes. He glorified Krishna to be the most qualified personality assembled in present in the assembly. And when he finished glorifying Lord Krishna, all the learned people, and also some Brahmanas who were not at the time before when the question was asked, when they were not sure, because they could see more elderly personalities like Bhishma, Lord Shiva himself, and then Vyasadeva, who had written all the Vedic literature for all the humankind. They were all present there, and then eyes were going on to all senior people. And some people didn't even realize who Lord Krishna was at the time. Because what did Krishna do prior to that? He was just acting part of the host. He was helping Sahadeva and Nakula wash the feet of all the devotees who were coming, all the guests who were coming. He was washing his feet and wiping with his cloth, with his own clothes. He was wiping their feet and putting the charnamrit to his head. He was applying that to his head. For all the learned personalities, he was glorifying all of them. So one would tend to believe in such an assembly that why would we call someone who is acting so ordinary? Then what happened once Sahadeva, when he glorified, then everyone realized who Lord Krishna actually is. Regardless of his worldly duties he is doing, he is still the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when they realized, then all the kings and all the learned personalities, the rishis and the sages, they all said excellent. They all said excellent when Sahadeva finished speaking in glorification of the Lord. And then everyone tended to agree. And then Lord Krishna was given the Agra Puja. He was glorified, worshipped by the Pandavas, Yudhishthira Maharaj. And then what happened after that, we all know. Shishupala stood up in the assembly and he started blaspheming Lord Krishna. When he started blaspheming Lord Krishna, then those who were favorable to Lord Krishna, they did not like it. And then he started insulting and insulting the likes of Bhishma, and then also Vyasadeva, that you are known to be so learned personality, couldn't you have corrected everyone? So he started blaspheming each and every character present in there who were Krishna's favorable to Krishna, because they knew who Krishna was. But Shishupala, out of his envy for Krishna, and I said in the chapter earlier in the chapter that his envy further increased when in the Swayamvar before the Swayamvar of Rukmani Devi, when Krishna eloped with her before the actual Swayamvara started. So he was very much an enemy of Krishna after that. So what happened was, he just started blaspheming Krishna and all the others. So what did I said here earlier in the verse 42, 43, I believe, that listening to the insults of devotees, that's one of the main points we should be applying in our lives. That when a devotee of the Lord is being blasphemed in front of you, or even Lord is being blasphemed in front of you, what should a devotee do? There are three things which is given in the Shastras that what a devotee should be doing. First one is that you should penalize such an individual by cutting their tongue. By cutting their tongue. That is how bad it is. That's how serious matter it is. That if someone is blaspheming the Lord or his devotees. And the second one is that if you are knowledgeable enough, and if the guy, the person who's insulting has got the mental capacity to listen to your advice, then you should argue with him and you win over him. You argue with him and win over him and make your point clear to him. That's the second option. And if he's not in a mental state to listen, then and you are not in a position to cut off his tongue, then what you should do is immediately leave the assembly. Immediately leave the assembly. Because once you are in the assembly and you are listening to blasphemy of the Lord and blasphemy of his devotees, then it is said it is said in one of the verses here in Srimad Bhagavatam that you lose all your, that's in 7th canto, that you lose all your pious activities as well. Forget about the devotional service you have done for the Lord. In addition to the devotional service you have done to the Lord, you also lose all your pious activity, even going down to the level of karmic reactions. Whatever pious activities you have accumulated over many lifetimes, that's all nullified. It's all nullified, and then what happens is that you become like no one. You are not even a devotee of the Lord if you are tolerating such happening. So that is coming from one of the important verses. That's that's what we need to understand. That is the application bit which we're learning from this chapter. And also we saw that this Shishupala in verse 43, he has been beheaded by Lord Krishna. But before doing that, Krishna tolerated him. Krishna tolerated him for 100 offenses. Why did he tolerate him for 100 offenses? When the devotees are listening, when the devotees are listening to the blasphemy, the devotees cannot tolerate it. And what do? Including Bhishma. They pick up their sword and they are running to kill this man because they know the Shastra. They know that what this personality is doing, it's major offense and it can have consequences on them as well. And because they love Krishna so much, they can't tolerate. That's another thing. How can you tolerate your loved one being blasphemed so much in front of you? So all these Pandavas, Bhishma, Dronacharya, they are just holding their patience with their hands on their swords. That as soon as Krishna allows them, they'll run and chop his head off, this Shishupal's head off. And at one point, Bhishma just stood up to go and cut his throat. Krishna stopped him. That he is not blaspheming you, he is blaspheming me and my devotees. That's what Krishna says. That you don't worry, I am only tolerating him for a reason. I am tolerating him because I have given a promise to my aunt, who he happens to be the son of. Shishupal is son of Krishna's aunt. He is just his first cousin. But then there is so much animosity towards Krishna. He has had from a very long time, from his birth actually. We all know the story that he was born a bit deformed, and then his aunt learned from some learned personality that from some acharyas that whoever picks up Shishupal in his lap, and he loses his deformity, which is extra eye, extra hands, extra arms, then he becomes normal. That means that he will be killed by that personality, you know. So when his mother learned that Krishna is the personality who is going to kill Shishupala, she asked Krishna for leniency, and she was praying to Krishna that why would you kill my son, you know. Then Krishna said there can be circumstances, but then he promised the aunt that I will forgive him 100 of the offences which will be, which will require penalty of death, you know. 100 offences like that I will forgive him. So that is what Krishna was doing in this assembly. He was counting to 100 and he asked all his devotees to just bear, you know, that just bear and do not kill him because of his promise to the aunt. He did not want to break his promise. So when his head was cut off, because he wanted to spoil, the main reason he said here in earlier verses is that the main reason he decided to blaspheme Krishna after the actual Agra Puja was that he wanted to spoil the yajna of Yudhishthira Maharaj. For two reasons, because Yudhishthira Maharaj also was very favorable to Krishna, and he also knew Krishna would be glorified in this assembly, because he knew who Krishna was actually. Although, you know, he was blaspheming Krishna, he knew who Krishna was, but he was acting ignorant all this time. You know, Shishupala, when all these verses, all the words of the scriptures, all the verses which we read, when our acharyas translated it in such a way that while it sounds to be unfavorable towards Krishna, all the words which he is speaking, some way or the other are also favorable in glorifying him. You know, in one way it's blaspheming him, in another way, I cannot tell you the details, but if you read it yourself, you'll make it out. That in actual fact, there are some words which he utters, which actually glorifies the Lord. You know, while in his consciousness he is blaspheming the Lord, and he is chastising the Lord, in other words, in front of the whole assembly. So Shishupal, when he is killed, just because Krishna does not want to spoil the yajna bhumi, the place where yajna has happened, he sends his chakra, isn't it, Sudarshan chakra, to cut his neck. And it so happens that not even a drop of blood spills on the floor. That's to keep the purity of the sacrifice. So that is what Krishna is only good at, no one else. If anyone else had killed him with the sword, then definitely the yajna bhumi would have been contaminated, and of course the fruit of the yajna, you know, would have been questionable. So Krishna controls everything, isn't it? In other words, he is the recipient of the yajna and also protector of the yajna. You know, Krishna, while he is the recipient, he is also the protector. Now, without him, we as human beings, we are good for nothing, isn't it? We can't do anything to please Krishna. Actually, we are being the fallen souls of this Kali Yuga. We are fallen souls of Kali Yuga. In other yugas, we know that human beings were so much capable of glorifying Lord. They used to live hundreds of thousands of years. Even demons, for that matter, they were glorifying the Lord for hundreds and thousands of years. Just sitting in or standing in one pose, they would do that. But we are beings of this Kali Yuga. Our lives are so short, not even 100 years, and also the capacity for us to do such things is very, very limited. And topmost is that we are fallen souls. Even we don't have that level of intelligence as well. We should thank our acharyas, Prabhupada, and the predecessors, that they have given us everything on a silver plate. And and all we have to do is just read and take advantage. What Prabhupada went through to write all these books, how many different translations he had to read, and compile all this for us, his purports. We should be thankful of Prabhupada, and the only way to be thankful to Prabhupada is to read all this. So talking about Shishupal, when he was killed, everybody witnessed that what happened? That a light from his deceased body went from his body and entered Krishna's body. And also the ordinary devotee would think that that is a Sahujya Mukti, that one merges with the Lord. That is, but while that happened in this material world, Krishna was just the means for the Jiva to go back to Vaikuntha. Because Krishna is everything. Krishna is also Vaikuntha. Krishna is everything. Krishna is also this material world. Everything emanates in Krishna's body, as we know. Right? So he just entered. It wasn't Sahujya Mukti, and I'll just sort of share to everyone. There are 5 kinds of muktis, and Salokya means that when we die, we go and join the Lord. Whoever is the Lord of our devotion, in any form of Vishnu, because we know that in Vaikuntha Lok there are innumerable planets, just like in this material world, innumerable planets, and in the head of each planet is every expansion of the Lord. There is Saket Lok where Lord Ram resides, and those who have been praying to Lord Ram and asking for Ram Raj, that I live in such a place where it's Ram Raj. And then that sort of personality at the time of death, they enter Saket Lok. When they leave this world and they enter Vaikuntha, of course you have to be qualified to enter Vaikuntha Lok. So if you have done that much of devotion to the Lordship and nullified all your karmic reactions and found devotion to Lord Rama, then you'll enter that loka. And then you'll enjoy, for eternity, you'll enjoy Ram Rajya. That's what everyone wants, for that matter. Majority of Hinduism is sort of towards Ramayana, isn't it? Everyone, if you talk state by state, a lot of people of different states, including our country, Fiji, people, their main scripture for reading is Ramayana, and most of them you'd find to be as Hanuman bhaktas, because Hanuman is going to take them to Lord Ram eventually. That is the thought, and that is the feeling. And he's also protect our devotees as well, Hanuman on behalf of Lord Ram. So we have seen that many bhaktas or many devotees of the Lord, even in India, they pray to Lord Hanumanji. Hanumanji is known to protect his devotees and show them the way. And similarly, there are a lot of devotees who pray to Lord Shiva, and then when Lord Shiva is pleased, then he directs them to Vishnu, isn't it? Then he directs them to Krishna. And so Salokya, you live in the same. So there are other loks in the Vaikuntha planets. Those who even pray to Lord Shiva as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with bhakti, not with other material desires. So they go into Vaikuntha Lok, and Sadashiv resides in one of the planets as well. So, but there are hierarchies there as well, like here. We have flown 14 planetary systems right up to Brahmaloka. Similarly, it's there, but anyone can go anywhere. It is said there that once you are qualified to be a resident of Vaikuntha, then if you have asked, whatever you have asked for, that is what you are going to get. If you have asked for Lord Ramchandra's lotus feet, that is what you are going to get. But the most, as we said, as it's written in the scriptures, the most elevated is Goloka Vrindavan, isn't it? That's why we all are here, because our acharyas have given us the path to go back home, back to Godhead, right to the topmost lok of Lord Krishna. And because there are reasons, there are different ways to glorify Lord, different ways of devotional service to the Lord, different types of bhakti. And this type of bhakti, as we know, there are 9 processes of bhakti. And then when we go to these, when we are fully purified, then only we get qualified to enter Krishna's lok, Golok Vrindavan. Okay, so the first one is Salokya, and then Sayujya, which means people who want to merge into the Lord. That is what is said here about Shishupal. So and then Samipya, which means that you will be pleased, you'll be close to the Lord. Be close to the Lord, serving Him. Like Arjuna. Arjuna is always serving. And also, that is what we all aspire for, even in Vaikuntha planet when we go to Golo. We want to stay close to Krishna because we want to serve Krishna, isn't it? Bhakti means to serve. I mean, our Acharya said devotional service means bhakti, and bhakti means to serve. We would have like lot of devotees, lot of people out there who can't even translate what is the meaning of bhakti in other language, because it's very hard. Before I came into Krishna consciousness, I knew bhakti, that we should love God. But devotional service, to serve Lord, I thought that it was just some sort of a feeling to remain close to the Lord. Bhakti is to have just that feeling to remain close to the Lord. That is my personal experience. When after coming into Krishna, then I realized serving Krishna with that love, with that feeling, that is what is actual bhakti. Prabhupada had made it clear. Devotional service. Bhakti is devotional service. Not only devotional service. Because Jivere Swarupa Krishna Nitya Das. Das means to be servant. Servant means to serve. So if there is no two, that yes, we are your servant, but I only do what I want to do, when I want to do it. But if we are feeling towards Krishna, just like the Gwalins, just like the cowherd girls, when they were told that by Narad Muni that Krishna is sick and he needs the dust of the feet of his pure devotees, then only his headache is going to be cured. And then Narad Muni was hesitant because he thought it will bring, that would be like blasphemous, so that would be considered to be offensive. He avoided that, and then he was asked to go to these Gwalins, go to these cowherd girls. And when he went to the cowherd girls said, "How much do you want?" Then he said, "Don't you know the consequence of it? You will be going to hell for it." And they said, regardless where we go, Krishna said, we want to protect Krishna from any pain. How can Krishna be in pain? And then we are sort of thinking that we are devotees of Krishna. We are in any way serving Krishna or servants of Krishna. So they said, take any amount of dust of our lotus feet. They don't consider their feet as lotus feet. We consider their feet as lotus feet because they are pure devotees of the Lord. They consider themselves to be ordinary girls. But for us, they are most elevated devotees of the Lord. So they gave Narad, and then that's when Narad Muni realized that these people are more advanced. These cowherd girls are more advanced devotees than any of us. We consider we have learned the Shastras, so we know everything. But bhakti does not only means that we know the Shastras only. It's a matter of devotion, how much we love Krishna. It's individual. It's not something that you can distribute apart from distributing the names and the philosophy. When we are concentrated to be close to Krishna all the time, that is a way to serve Krishna. That is the way we want bhakti. That is Samikya bhakti. That is what we are all aspiring for. And then Sayogya. Sayogya, similar form as Krishna. So we want the form to be like Krishna or to Vishnu. We all know that Lord Krishna resides in all of us in his four-headed forms, right? That is Bhagavan Paramatma, in the form is Paramatma. But when it said that when you become devotee of Krishna, then that form changes from Vishnu, Rupa, from four-headed forms to Krishna form. Those who are Krishna's devotee, the Paramatma form changes. Once a personality, an individual becomes a pure devotee of Krishna, then Krishna, that form changes to Krishna. Then Krishna starts looking after you at every moment of your life. Krishna starts protecting you at every moment of your life. there is no difference between Krishna and Vishnu. But then if you are very close to Krishna, Krishna promises that He is always with you, isn't it? Krishna promises that He is always there with His bhaktas and looking after them. And the last one is Sarsti, which means possessing opulence, same as the Lord. Like Bali Maharaj is given the example. He wanted to reign over all the three worlds. He wanted to reign over all the three worlds. And when he got purified by the Lord, when he got Lord's lotus feet on his head, then he, apart from bhakti, did not want anything. But then because he was aspiring to get that, the king of the three worlds, then Krishna gave him a whole lok to be the king of. And Krishna, in the form of Vamandev, he is the Doakiva of Bali Maharaj. That is how God gave him this bhakti, the fruit of his bhakti. Because he had surrendered to Krishna, then he becomes the Doakiva of Bali Maharaj. We all know that the bhaktas of Krishna gives them such fruit of devotion that one does not even ask for, isn't it? When Lord came as Narasimhadev to Prahlad Maharaj was so much devoted to Krishna, to the Lord, that Krishna, that when Hiranyakashipu asked him whether Krishna is also existent in a pillar, and without any doubt he said, of course he is everywhere. Krishna, without any doubt. We will think twice. If someone's asking, put us under a spotlight, do you think Krishna is also here? We will hesitate, but he had no hesitation. And then when Hiranyakashipu kicked the pillar, then Lord himself emerged, because he protects the bhakta as well as the bhakta's words. Like we also know the story of Mahabharata. Krishna said he will not pick up any arms and ammunition. But Bhishma promised him that, who do you think, we are not good enough fighters? I'll make you pick up a weapon. So Krishna did keep his word, isn't it? Krishna keeps the words of his bhaktas regardless of his own words. He denies his own in proclamation, in front of the proclamation of the bhaktas, his devotees, his pure devotees. In fact, he says in the Bhagavad Gita, that whatever my bhaktas say, that is where I am, my pure devotees. He looks after his pure devotees, whatever they say, he makes it happen for his devotees. Okay, so Shishupala, we are talking about Shishupala. So going next step, Shishupal was in previous lives, as we all know, he was Jai and Vijay. They were from Vaikuntha planet. They were given the skills by the four Kumaras. So in the four Kumaras, and Lord gave them option that if they come to the earth, in the four Kumaras, obviously the curse was that they'll have to be born in this material world, because they blasphemed the devotee of Krishna. The four Kumaras were also devotees of Krishna. Jai Vijay were also devotees of Krishna, but the four Kumaras were not allowed into Vaikuntha for what they were wearing, because they were small boys and they were without any clothes. So this Jai and Vijay said that was not proper etiquette. So we are not here to judge devotees. That is one of the essence. That we are not here to judge devotees, blaspheme devotees. We are here to make everyone welcome. Like that is what Lord Narayana told Jai and Vijay. But he apologized to the four Kumaras on their behalf. That yes, my devotees or my servants have made a mistake by not letting you come in. So they are also qualified or unqualified to be given some penalty. So when the four Kumaras gave the curse, Lord protected them that yes, if you want to become a devotee of the Lord, then it will take you 7 lifetimes to come back home to be their position in Vaikuntha as Jai and Vijay. But if you take the form of an enemy to the Lord, that what will happen? You will only have to take it 3 times. And so the first time was Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyakashipu in the Satyuga. And we all know that this in Satyuga, even the demons were so gigantic. The earth looked like a football in front of them. They had so much powers. They could become so big, so huge. Depending on what they wanted, they had so much powers. The demons had so much powers in Satyuga as well. So in Treta, as we know, Hanumanji was asked to go to Sri Lanka. Then he was reminded that he can become as big as he wants, and as small as he wants by Jaman. Jaman knew about Lord Hanuman. So when Hanumanji realized that he could jump from one land to the other land, which means from India to Sri Lanka, isn't it? He could do that. But then considering the beings of Satyuga, because that was such a yuga, that considering that this big demon is holding earth as a football in his hand, and then when it comes to Treta Yuga, then Hanumanji being the disciple of Lord Rama, or being the devotee of Lord Rama, he is reminded that he can jump from one planet to another if he wants, So just picturing that, if we just try to take that the actual strength of beings were so different in different yugas, and then coming to Kali Yuga, we all know how strong we are, and what we are capable of doing. So that was Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyakashipu, and then in Treta Yuga, there were Ravana and Kumbhkarna. Ravana was also very inimical towards Lord Ram, because he was also initially he was beaten in wars by bhaktas like Bali, King Bali, who was Sugriva's brother, and so forth. So he knew that he wasn't the strongest person around. But then he was trying to become the strongest person, and he could even please Lord Shiva, his Aradhya Lord, by showing his valiance. Then Lord Shiva said, "What do you want?" And he said, "I want Sri Lanka." That's how Ravana got Sri Lanka from Lord Shiva. And then in Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, they came as Shishupal and Dantavakta. So we'll be learning more about Dantavakta as we go along in chapter 78. But Shishupal was also one of the Jaya brothers. And Shishupal, now that he is relieved from his material body, he goes back home, back to Krishna. He goes back home as the doorkeepers of the Lord in Vaikuntha planet, to Lord Vishnu. Okay, let me just double check if I missed anything. Yeah, we are talking about cutting off the tongue. Just another point I'd like to make before we end. Tongue is something which we need to engage in Krishna's service. If we don't engage tongue in Krishna's service, then it will do all sorts of nuisance. That's what I had in the class which I was listening to yesterday. Tongue is something which causes us to cleanse our heart, as well as it is the road to a lot of other anarthas. Like why do people eat meat and kill other beings? Because of the tongue, isn't it? Because of the taste, the sense of taste. So that takes away compassion from a being, because of the tongue, because of the sense of taste. And similarly, the words, the words they said can be sharper than the sword, isn't it? The words spoken can be sharper than it injures people, it hurts people more than the sword itself. So to engage the tongue, that is why we are all chanting. That's why we are all chanting. So as many senses we engage in Krishna's service, so much purified we get. Okay, so much purified we get. Okay, so I'll conclude the class here. There's lots to say, but it's always time constraints. If there is anyone who's got any questions, or please also feel free to correct me, because I'm also learning in the process. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Just one, it was a fantastic class.
Hare
I
Krishna.
enjoyed it. Lots of energy. One important, I think, really, I suppose it's a correction, I guess, for the more like an elaboration, probably a better way to put it.
Sure.
So there's 5 types of mukti as such. The ones that devotees definitely do not is merging into the impersonal effulgence of the Brahman.
That's right.
And the other 4 types, actually, Prabhupada in this text says we don't want any of these things in Canto
Absolutely.
5, chapter
The
6,
book.
verse 18. Yeah. So because the devotee will get those things anyway. So in Adi Lila, Lord Chaitanya explains that what you really want is direct service. That should be your first aim. But when you kind of get to prema, you're not going to ask for anything. So actually, above direct service, none of these muktis is direct service. And above direct service is Madhya chapter 13, verse 180. You want to be a servant of the servant of the servant.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and when you're a servant of the servant of the servant, you will get direct service, and you also get all forms of liberation, barring merging into the person of Brahma. So I hope that kind of clarifies that.
Perfect point, Prabhu. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. No, that's a correction. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you there. Yeah, a bhakta does not want mukti. Absolutely right. That's what Prabhupada says. Thank you. Yeah, anybody else? Anybody has any questions? Hare Krishna.
I have a question for you.
Hare Krishna.
You said the point about you shouldn't blast, like you shouldn't say anything bad about devotees. But what about a non-devotee? Suppose like I work and I sometimes chant while working, and some of the people come up and they say something bad, like, oh, there's a voodoo girl, or oh, there's Krishna's again. Like they always say something about me, always. So I can't let that like what? That's the only point. Like I understand you can walk away, but when you're at work and somebody says something about what you're doing bad, that's the problem.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Very good question. We all come across such situations or circumstances. We either, if they are favorable to it, we can tell them if they are favorable. But if they are not favorable, then we avoid. Then we avoid having discussions with them. You know, we become one step ahead of them. We avoid such association, this thing. But if they are favorable, then we can explain to them what we are doing and what this is meant to be. It's not voodoo. We're not trying to do any kind of voodoo here, but we are just being devotees. We are just being devotees of the Lord. You know, that is how we're trying to make our lives successful by doing chanting. But here, if someone is not favorable, as we go along in the streets chanting and Harinam, we find all sorts of people, isn't it? We experience all. Some of them, I was watching a class yesterday, and someone was saying that a person entered Govinda's restaurant with chicken or something, and he was trying to force everyone to eat chicken, you know. Someone was saying in that class. And then what do we do in such circumstances? You know, we are actually supposed to be feeling pity on those kind of jivas, you know. We're supposed to be compassionate towards every individual. The idea is that everybody is a fallen soul, including us. We are all fallen souls. But to give that realization that we all are fallen souls, that is a big effort. You know, it's very hard to convince a lot of people. What do you mean I'm fallen? That kind of response comes from people generally. You know? So yeah, we all know we are fallen, but the realization is not there. So we need to be compassionate towards such individuals. And we also need to, if they are like hostile towards us, we try to avoid such such association. We try to avoid that as far as possible. Anybody else can add to that? Some people doing Harinam, we have more practical experience as well. Okay. Any other questions? All good? Thank you everyone. Gantrashraman Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaur Premanande.
Kirtan Adelaide. Leave a like and subscribe.